Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I do. Oh,
It's okay.
I'm afraid of the reality. Oh my God, I'm afraid of the reality. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Hey everyone, we really need to talk about something that has been making the rounds online. And honestly, it's messy, emotional, and deeply uncomfortable.
Former manager Vincent Herbert ended, and she made the heartbreaking revelation that as a child, she was molested by multiple family members. As she tried to heal, Tamar rebounded with a new love, David Adefeso, and another show, Tamar Braxton, Get Young.
It involves Tamar Braxton and Birdman, two names that have been tied together in rumors, headlines, and whispers that refuse to go away. Now, before we go any further, let me say this clearly. A lot of what people are repeating is based on speculation, social media chatter, and dramatic storytelling, not confirmed facts. But that hasn't stopped the internet from turning the situation into a full-blown storm. Because when a personal health rumor gets attached to a celebrity relationship, it stops being gossip and starts feeling like something much heavier, something more damaging, something that hits reputation, dignity, and trust all at once.
He was found unconscious after a suicide attempt. What was that moment like for you? Y'all being so close and living your life so publicly. What was that moment like for your family?
And what nobody expected was how fast the narrative escalated. One moment, it was just quiet tension. The next moment, people were claiming that private relationship issues had turned into a public accusation. Suddenly, Tamar was trending, not for her music, not for her growth, not for her resilience, but for something deeply sensitive and painful. And the emotional fallout, that part is what really shook fans. Because if there's one thing about Tamar, it's that she has never stayed silent when she feels misunderstood. To really understand why this situation hit so hard, we have to step back and look at Tamar's journey, not the headlines, not the drama, the actual person behind the spotlight.
Go ahead, Trina.
Well, first of all, I was very disappointed in finding out via social media because our family is closer than that. And to have someone else regurgitate that story to us, I can only speak for me. But for someone else to tell me the story of something that happened to my own family is very disheartening. And as a family member, I would not have allowed that 911 call to happen the way that it did. And I think that as protectors of our family, as protectors of our sister, I think things would have gone differently had we known at the time that it happened.
How did the 911 call get out?
On social media.
Was it the boyfriend?
I'm sorry?
How did the tape get out? Was it the boyfriend that put it out there?
We have no idea how it came out. We just know, we know as much as you guys know. That I have to be honest. We don't know all the details of what transpired before that happened. We don't know what happened while the paramedics were there. We have no idea. We just know what you guys know. We know what we heard from the 911 call. As Trina stated, we heard everything on social media. Trina called me in the wee hours of the morning, and that's how I found out. And I looked on social media and was like, why is this everywhere? And we don't know about this. I just think that the protocol should be, you call the family members first, and then, and then allow it to leak out to the media.
Whose fault?
I wouldn't have done it that way.
Whose fault is that though? Is it network? Is it because that?
I don't. That's not network. That's not network. Wasn't there.
That's the inner person.
Right. Network wasn't there. The network wasn't there.
How would they know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
then they found out the same way that we found out on social media.
So what do y'all think about David?
Oh, I don't. I have my own life. I don't think about David.
Who?
David.
Who? I'm Mariah Carey. Who?
The guy with the dreads.
Who? And then
my
Mariah
husband.
said about Who?
My husband had threats.
Well, moving on. Well, after the trailer of season 7 of Braxton Family Values was released, Tamar took to social media to voice her concerns about being used for a storyline. She posted, "I am no longer employed by WeTV, and they're still using my hurt and me to make a coin." What do you think about that? And is it fair for the network to cover that?
Well, I'm going to say this very blatantly and very honestly. During season 7 of Braxton Family Values, we do not talk about Tamar's physical or mental health. We talk about how it affected us, but we do not physically address Tamar's hurt, pain, or experience. We can't speak to that. Tamar has her own story to tell, and it's very important for Tamar to tell her story in her way whenever she decides to tell it. We in no way, shape, or form addressed how Tamar is doing or how Tamar is feeling. We only addressed how we felt, as we're doing now, how we felt when the situation happened, when it came to us. We have no horse in that race. All we want is for our sister to have peace and health and well-being, and of course our nephew Logan.
I would think it'd be normal to film your reaction because that's your sister and she's part of the show.
Exactly, our reaction,
so
but we cannot speak for her.
it would be fake to not talk about your sister when something so tragic happens. Like, I think
That part.
that's, you know what I mean? Like, I think if you didn't react to it, people would say, what the hell? They don't love their sister?
I mean, it's damn if you do, it's damn if you do, and damn if you don't. If we didn't say anything, we're insensitive. And now that we are saying things, and we're only speaking on how it, like Trina said, how it affected us, how we were affected in the situation. Because medically speaking, like a lot of doctors will tell you that it's important for the victim to understand how it impacted your family and your friends and your loved ones. It's important for them to see that, so maybe they can get themselves together a little quicker. I'm just saying that it's unfair, really, but we definitely touch on how we experienced it and how we felt when we found out about it, and I don't think anything was wrong with that.
Right about that, Tuan.
Tamar also insisted the footage from the show was staged, specifically referring to when you all found out about the attempt. What are your thoughts on that? I know sometimes you have to reenact things.
Staged? What was staged, though?
I think the reaction, like when y'all, the reaction to finding out about her.
Well, it was merely a question. That's the same question that you're asking us. It was a question that the producers asked us. Hey, how did you feel when this happened? How did you feel when you found out about it? So it's not really reenacting that. It's about expressing and answering the question of how we felt and what we experienced when we found out about it. It was just a question. It wasn't a reenactment. I don't look at it as
I think it's supremely unfair to attack us as a family, to continue to work and to get ostracized for it because we didn't have the same experience that she did, and it's unfair because we did not speak in any way, shape, or form about Tamar and her situation. We did not make that 911 call. We did not say anything to the media in regards to Tamar's situation. We did not openly say anything about what's happening with Tamar's situation, except for the fact that we love her and we're here for her and we're in her corner. And yet we are the ones who are being ostracized when we are not the ones who are putting things openly in the media. It's completely unfair. It's completely unfair and unwarranted.
Is it fair to say if the tape wasn't put out there by whoever put it out there, no one would even know anything because it could have been private, and then her privacy could have really been protected. She could have healed on her own without us even knowing about it to talk about it. Is that fair to say?
that part. Yes.
Well, I think whoever did that, and if anyone could get to the bottom of that, I think that's the person. And that's none of my business. And I know people, you're bringing Tamar's. Me and Tamar have squashed our little thing on the show. So I have no dog in this race either. You know what I mean? I just want to be clear about that because I know people, I don't want her to get upset or the people watching. I feel like the person who put that out there and so quickly, and on the tape, it was really weird him talking about the network who does that when their girlfriend's going through a crisis. I just don't understand. If my man was on the phone talking to 911 when I'm sick, and you talk about Bravo TV, I would be like, "Mother, what the fuck you? Hello, I'm not doing well." And if that tape gets out, that's the person who's responsible for putting her on.
That's right. It was not done by her family.
Well, I really hope that she's doing okay, and you guys keep that bond going, because it's clear y'all love each other. Y'all have issues like every other family does.
Oh heck yeah.
We're gonna take a break, and we'll talk about taking a break from reality TV, if that's even possible. So we'll be back with more when I come to Atlanta. I'm hanging with all three of y'all sisters.
Come on through.
Yeah, come on, Claudia.
Drinks. We're gonna go.
Let me know.
Come on in the room. Come on in the room.
Some Long Island iced teas. We're gonna have all that. Okay, let's.
Well, you know how we do when we hang out, Claudia.
You've been at my place in Atlanta. We had fun.
Yes.
You're a good time. You're a good time. Oh, y'all are cool. I like y'all.
You're a good time.
I rocked with y'all. Seriously.
Of course, Claudia.
Okay, so look, with all the stuff that's happened, the chaos, the ups, the downs, have y'all ever thought, look, we need to take a break from reality TV and just kind of like, you know, focus on strengthening the family and all that kind of stuff? Or is it like, nah, I'm cool? Did it ever get to the point where you felt like, I want to take a break from it? Time out?
It got to that point, but I said I had to take a break from my sisters.
That part.
I had to take a break from my sisters. I love them. I love them so much. But you know, I ain't no little kid or no 20 years old no more. I'm just like, you know what? I gotta have a break from them. You know, let me figure out my family. Let me figure out what's under my threshold right now. Let me get that together, and then I can deal with my sisters. I can't deal with both of them.
I'd say it's probably a lot. And speaking of taking a break, y'all sister Tamar unfollowed all y'all and your mother on social media. Were y'all surprised when y'all get unfollowed? I feel a little bit hurt. Like I'd be like, oh
no, it's not like she's never done it before, Claudia. Let's just be honest. It's not like she's never done that before. Okay, she's unfollowed us before, and we don't measure our family and our relationship with social media. We just don't. Yeah. That's just what it is.
Can I stunt on y'all real quick and say that she follows me now? She don't follow y'all.
That is so much shade, Claudia, because we all know that. Because let's be honest, Claudia, you and Tamar went through y'all little stuff too, and then y'all got back together, and God knows how long that's gonna last. But the reality of it is this: even though she unfollowed us on social media, doesn't mean that she doesn't talk to us in real life. Okay. So people can have whatever perception they want to have. Yeah. You know, just like, you know, you and Tamar talk behind the scenes, and people think that y'all still going through y'all little, you know, but you're okay. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, social media is just a medium for people to have something to say and build a platform. So it has nothing to do with real life and real family.
And to be fair, sometimes you do need a break, you know, like Tracy said, and maybe you don't want to see someone up and down your timeline when you're in a weird place, right? Is that fair to say? Like, look, I need a break. I want to see you.
Yeah, I mean, even McDonald's says you deserve a break today. I mean, you know. Right.
Did y'all see her interview with Tamron Hall? Did you see your sister's interview with Tamron Hall?
Yes.
What'd you think about it? Was it good? How was it for y'all? Was it on point? How'd y'all feel about it?
What do you mean on point?
Did you take any issue with it? Was there anything that like bothered you, or was it like, okay, that's just normal? It's a normal interview.
Tamar had to speak her truth, and her truth is her truth. It doesn't necessarily mean it is the truth, but it is the truth according to her, and she has to live with how her truth and what her truth looks like in her life. You know, and she deserves to be able to have her platform to tell her story the way she wants to tell it. And we have to respect it.
Respect what she have to say.
Where she is mentally and emotionally, that's all.
And I'm sorry to ask you so many questions, but you all are such a known unit, like all of you as a group. I mean, you have your individual platforms and of course fan base and accomplishments. And I hope you don't feel like I'm just like Tamar, because it's not about just that. But it is a news story and it's something that the fans want to know about.
Right.
And it's part of, it's part of having your life out there when you have an issue, sister. You know what I mean? That's
true.
Kind of part of it. So I hope, thank you for being so gracious to answer all these questions. And Tamar, if you're watching, I hope you don't take this as we're shading you or it's being negative, because it's not. And I'd much rather have the narrative and the story put out by sisters that love you than bloggers and boyfriends and motives and side people that are just outsiders looking in, because we don't really know. Y'all know. We don't know. I just want to put that out there real quick. So, okay.
But you know, Claudia, we also don't know. We also don't know. You know, and that's
we still, and we still follow each other. I'll let y'all know, and I'll get back to you. I'll let y'all know.
You know it's shade, Claudia.
What you want me to ask Tamar? I'm gonna find out. Let me call her real quick.
Claudia, you are so right now with all this shade you were throwing at me. I'm under the tree.
I've been the shady little bitch this week, I must say.
Tamar didn't just appear overnight as a loud personality or a reality TV star. She came from a musical family where pressure, expectations, and public attention were part of daily life. Growing up in the Braxton household meant talent was normal, but so was scrutiny. Every move, every word, every emotional reaction was magnified. From the very beginning, Tamar was known as expressive, emotional, honest to a fault. Some people loved that about her, others judged her for it. But one thing is undeniable: she has always worn her heart on her sleeve. Her career had highs that looked glamorous from the outside, but behind the scenes she faced heartbreak, professional setbacks, public criticism, and deeply personal struggles that many people only learned about years later. She has spoken openly about feeling betrayed, feeling misunderstood, and feeling emotionally drained by situations that happened both in her personal life and in the industry, and that matters. Because when someone has already lived through public embarrassment, divorce, family tension, and mental health battles, even one rumor can reopen old wounds. Now let's talk about Birdman for a moment. He is known for being private, controlled, and strategic with what he says publicly. He is not the type to constantly go online explaining himself. When his name gets attached to controversy, it usually creates more mystery than clarity. So when their relationship first became a topic of conversation, fans were curious but also cautious. Some people supported them, others questioned the dynamic. Still, the connection between them was seen as complex but real. They had moments where they seemed close, moments where distance showed, moments where things felt unclear. And that emotional back and forth is what set the stage for everything that came later. Because here's the twist: relationships in the spotlight are already fragile. Add rumors, pressure, and online narratives, and suddenly private issues become public debates.
And that is exactly where things began to spiral. The internet started buzzing after claims began circulating that suggested a deeply serious accusation involving health and trust. No official confirmation, no verified statement with full context, just fragments of information being reshaped into dramatic stories. And once social media grabs onto something sensitive like that, it spreads like wildfire. People started picking sides without knowing the truth. People started analyzing interviews, old posts, facial expressions, and even silence. And silence in celebrity culture often gets treated like an answer, even when it's not. What nobody expected was how quickly Tamar's name became the center of speculation. Suddenly, blogs were reposting theories, comment sections were flooded with harsh opinions, and the narrative kept getting more extreme with every retelling. But here's the part that made the situation emotionally explosive. Fans who have followed Tamar for years know that she is sensitive about her image, her health, and her personal dignity. So when rumors started implying something as serious as a health-related betrayal, it didn't just look like gossip, it looked like a direct attack on her character. And when someone feels publicly accused, whether directly or indirectly, emotions don't stay calm for long.
Sources close to the conversation online claimed that Tamar was deeply upset about how her name was being dragged into a narrative that she did not publicly confirm or address in full detail, and that frustration reportedly built over time. At first, she stayed quiet, then she posted cryptic messages, then she reacted emotionally in ways that fans described as a crash out, not because she lost control randomly, but because the pressure reached a boiling point. Imagine waking up and seeing your name attached to something deeply personal and sensitive. Imagine thousands of strangers discussing your health, your past relationship, and your integrity like it's entertainment. That kind of pressure changes how a person reacts. And this is where the story becomes less about gossip and more about emotional impact. Because Tamar has always been someone who speaks from feeling, not calculation. When she is hurt, you can see it. When she is angry, you can hear it. When she feels betrayed, she does not hide it behind a perfect smile. So when the rumors gained traction, people noticed a shift. Her tone online felt heavier. Her words sounded defensive, emotional, and protective of herself. But here's what made everything even more complicated. There was no clear public timeline explaining where the rumor truly started. Some said it was misinterpreted statements, others said it was exaggerated commentary. A few insisted it was completely fabricated gossip blown out of proportion. And yet the damage was already happening. Because once a rumor involving health spreads, it sticks differently than regular celebrity drama. It becomes personal, it becomes invasive. And Tamar's supporters were quick to point out how unfair that narrative felt. They questioned why serious accusations were being discussed like trending topics. They asked why private matters were being turned into entertainment. And they reminded people that health rumors can harm someone's mental well-being, regardless of whether they are true or false.
But here's the emotional twist that nobody saw coming. Instead of the story fading away, the tension seemed to grow because the public kept connecting dots without full context. Every silence from either side was turned into speculation. Every vague post became a headline. And Tamar, being someone who reacts emotionally to public pressure, appeared visibly drained by the ongoing conversation. You could sense it in her tone. You could see it in her energy. You could feel the exhaustion behind the reactions. This wasn't just about a relationship anymore. This was about reputation. This was about dignity. This was about protecting one's name in front of millions of strangers who think they know the full story. And when people say she crashed out, what they often ignore is the emotional buildup that leads to that moment. Years of public scrutiny, years of being misunderstood, years of personal struggles playing out online. So when a rumor that sensitive enters the conversation, it doesn't land softly, it lands like a storm. The emotional weight of the situation reportedly affected how fans viewed her. Some showed support and empathy, saying she was being unfairly targeted. Others criticized her reactions, saying she should stay silent. But silence is not easy when your name is attached to something deeply serious. And this is where the emotional impact becomes the real story. Because beyond the drama, there is a human being who has repeatedly spoken about mental health struggles, trust issues, and emotional exhaustion from public life. Being at the center of such rumors can reopen anxiety. It can trigger feelings of betrayal. It can create fear about how the public will perceive you long term. For Tamar, who has fought to rebuild her image and emotional stability over the years, the situation reportedly felt like a setback she never asked for. Fans noticed that her usual confident energy seemed mixed with frustration and sadness. That combination often shows when someone feels attacked but also deeply hurt. And the ripple effect doesn't stop with just one person. Family members get dragged into conversations. Career discussions shift away from talent to controversy. Public perception becomes clouded by rumors instead of reality. That kind of emotional burden is heavy.
because once a narrative spreads, correcting it becomes almost impossible. People remember the scandal louder than the truth. And perhaps the most painful part is how quickly the internet moves on after the damage is done, leaving the person involved to deal with the long-term emotional consequences. At the end of the day, what we are witnessing is not just celebrity drama. It is a reminder of how dangerous unverified rumors can become when they involve health, trust, and personal relationships. Tamar's reaction, whether emotional, defensive, or frustrated, makes more sense when you consider the pressure she was under, not just from one headline, but from a wave of speculation that questioned her integrity in a deeply personal way. And that kind of situation forces anyone into a corner emotionally. Because how do you defend yourself against something that keeps evolving online? How do you correct a story that people are constantly reshaping? How do you stay calm when your name is trending for something so sensitive? Those are questions no celebrity training can fully prepare you for. In the end, this situation leaves more questions than answers, not just about gossip, but about boundaries, respect, and the emotional cost of public narratives. Because behind every trending topic is a real person dealing with real feelings. And whether people support Tamar or criticize her reactions, one truth remains clear. Being at the center of serious rumors can break even the strongest public figure emotionally. So maybe the bigger conversation isn't just about what was said, what was rumored, or who people believe. Maybe it's about how quickly the internet turns private matters into public trials without full context. And as the noise slowly settles, one thing becomes painfully obvious. Reputation can take years to build, but one rumor can shake it overnight. And for Tamar, this chapter may not just be about controversy. It may be another reminder of how heavy fame becomes when personal narratives are no longer yours to control. But here's the final thought that really stays with you. Public storms always pass eventually, but the emotional impact they leave behind, that part lingers far longer than the headlines ever will.